Welcome back to another episode of Tailgate with Tullies. I'm Ryan.
I'm CJ.
And guys, we're here at the college football playoffs. We got the championship game in Atlanta, Ohio State, Notre Dame. And for all of you guys who've been watching throughout this college football playoffs, the first year of 12 teams, we just want to say thank you guys for your support and liking the videos and uh, just really appreciate everything that you guys do for our channel. So just want to say thank you. And we're hoping that this game summarizes the whole college football year, which has been a great year. So we're really excited. I've been rooting for Ohio State all year long. CJ's been rooting for Notre Dame. So this is like a kind of like a CJ versus Ryan matchup here too. I got Ohio State in this one. I've been saying that all playoffs. CJ's got Notre Dame. And CJ, I'm just wondering what you think Notre Dame can do to beat Ohio State. I mean, we've been saying all year long, or at least me personally, Notre Dame hasn't beaten a real team. Notre Dame hasn't beaten a real team. They beat Penn State last week in a pretty like good win. And Riley Leonard's been getting it done. So, CJ, why do you think that Notre Dame's going to win this one?
Yeah, after that loss on that field goal that everyone said was going to be end of Notre Dame, they didn't deserve it. They couldn't beat real teams. They've gone on a 13-game win streak since, including their three playoff games. They took on an Indiana team who everybody hated on, but that team played well against Ohio State earlier this year. You have another team in Georgia, obviously with a backup quarterback, but they got that done. They haven't settled for these bad teams. And I think last week with Penn State, we had both taken Penn State knowing that defense was unstoppable, and we didn't think Riley Leonard would be able to throw on them or Jeremiah Love would be able to run on them. So I think them being able to do that showed me a lot with this Notre Dame team and finding different ways to win. You had Great House going for over 100 yards against Penn State. That was something that we wouldn't have expected, as Faison's been their number one wide receiver all year. So it's just finding these ways. And I have to say, with that Love run into the end zone against Penn State, that was the epitome of Notre Dame. This is their year, and they're going to do this. And I
That
think
was
just
pretty cool,
that, I mean, we'll have it up here, but that is literally
yeah.
the highlight that's some solidified Notre Dame's championship run for me. Just the way Riley Leonard has played over 200 yards on Penn State, again, a defense that we said time in and time out that was the reason why Penn State was able to get things done. The defense has played amazing. They were getting pressure on every opponent they've played, which was causing turnovers left and right. So I think that is something that's really helped out this Notre Dame team. And I think just the culture of Notre Dame. I think a lot of people have gotten behind them this playoff. And I think with Marcus Freeman and the way that he's been coaching this team and the way he has talked about this team, even after press conferences, wanting all of the love towards the team, I think it's just stuff like this that brings the community together and puts everybody behind Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, I think you bring up some valid points here. You do have Riley Leonard playing very well, especially with that run game. But I think that this Ohio State offense is going to be way too overpowering. Notre Dame has not played an offense like this all year long. Like this is just a team that's been dropping up points. They dropped 41 against Oregon, who was the number one ranked team in the country. They dropped 42 against Tennessee, who was seventh ranked. They win last week, um, again with 28 points against Texas. They've been getting their games done. They won with the defense last week too, with the sack and the 100 yard or not 100 yard, sorry, 70 yard return for the fumble. So like they're getting it done on both sides. The offense has been looking great. Will Howard has really since that Oregon kneel down, he has been playing like he was a second early. He's been playing great. He had 289 yards last week with a touchdown. He did throw an interception, but you got the dual running back. You know, I love my duo running backs of the double-headed dragon. You got Judkins and Henderson, who last week had 78 yards total, which isn't crazy, but two touchdowns for Judkins and a 75-yard screen taken to the house by Henderson. So getting it done in the pass game too. Jeremiah Smith, who was limited last week, only one catch, 3 yards, which does scare me a little bit, as you know, he is your number one player and he only had one catch. So that kind of does scare me a little bit. But the fact that they still got it done, they still had 28 points with him gone and like being eliminated in the offense. You have Aguka, who's 5 catches, 51 yards. He's been playing really well. And then Carnell Tate, their tight end, 7 catches, 87 yards. People are stepping up when you can't get the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I mean, Texas like triple teamed him and had guys shadowing him, and they still found a way to win this game without their best player being active. And so, like, for me, that's a big factor. So if you can get him involved, you got other guys around him who can also do things. This Ohio State offense is just way too good. And I think despite Notre Dame's great defense, which I'm looking forward to the matchup of offense defense, love that. But I think Ohio State's offense is just way too overpowering.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the odds, I know Ohio State is heavily favored in this, which is a little surprising to me, just given the fact that it is a national championship game. You'd hope, just you would have a good competitive game. But again, this Ohio State offense, I will say, they are very overpowered, and I think it's really going to come down to these one or two plays that if Notre Dame slips up and lets up a pass interference or something big down the field, I think that could be the difference in this game. You talk about a two-headed monster. Do we forget about Price and Love? I mean, these guys have been able to get it done, and I think we're underestimating the ability of Riley Leonard on the ground. I know he had a powerful run again against Penn State and during against Georgia to get them first downs when needed. So I think that is a big thing, and I'll continue to say I think, and it's in the whole power of friendship. But I do think just the camaraderie going on with this Marcus Freeman led team, I think that means something. I think that that culture brings something. And Ohio State, I will say, after that Michigan game, they've come very close together and they've not taken their foot off the gas. But I'm definitely taking Notre Dame in this game and do it for the Catholics, do it for the Irish, do it for all of us who are just cheering for Notre Dame. Do it for Rudy. Do it for Rudy. This one's for Rudy. All right, we're winning the chip.
So you want to say
Play
do it
like
for
a damn
Rudy?
champ.
You say do it for Rudy. I've heard a lot of stories that Rudy was a horrible person and was not a good guy. So you want to say do it for Rudy? I'm gonna say do it for Ohio State. Do it for the Buckeyes. Do it for the nut. Don't know. If, I still don't get that why I was called a Buckeye, but whatever. But to me, it's just while they do have a great run game, their pass game isn't all that great. Riley Leonard as a passer, he might have done well against Penn State's defense, but the rest of the season, he's not like passing isn't his thing. So if you can, as Ohio State, shut down that run game, you push the pressure on him to make plays, and I think it's kind of similar to the Eagles. If you can shut down the run game, you're making a quarterback who struggles with his arm have to throw the football, and I think that that could be an issue here if Notre Dame can't get the run game
I'll
going.
stop you right there. Notre Dame did not have a run game for the past 2 weeks. Riley Leonard was the leading rusher against Georgia with 80 yards. I think that it's not about the rush game. I think it's about the key plays and being able to get the key first downs. And I think Riley Leonard has shown that he is able to do that. So I think even if you shut down the run, because Penn State was able to shut down
I'm
the run, I think
I'm
they can
including
do it.
him as a rusher, though. I'm saying him as a rusher is what is dangerous. I don't think that, yes, while Price and Love are good rushers, I think the fact that he can run and just scramble for like 30 yards on these plays, like it is a factor. But if you can shut down the run game, it makes him have to throw as a passer, and then you can play like QB spy. You can put people on him to make him one dimensional. And I think if you take away his legs, he isn't as good of a player as someone like Will Howard, who has been playing very well this year, hasn't been talked about in the draft or anything like that, but he is been playing really well. He's got the weapons around him. He has the pieces. He has the running backs who can get in the end zone when they get close. You have such a high-powered offense, and I know the defense might not be as great as people talking about, but number one team in the country, 21 points. Tennessee, seventh ranked team, 17 points. And last week, 14 points for Texas, an offense who was really good all year and was ranked number one for most of the year until Oregon obviously beat Ohio State. So you want to talk about a good defense. This defense is still good. They had 4 sacks last week. The defense is what won them the game at the end of the game last week when Texas was on the 1 yard line. They got 2 plays to make them lose yards and then the fumble to the house. Like that's that's really good clutch defense right there. And that's what Ohio State's gonna have to do against this Notre Dame team because if it's offense defense, that means on the flip side, one of the offense of Notre Dame or the defense of Ohio State's gonna have to step up to make the difference.
Yeah, all that being said, give me the power friendship. Notre Dame by 100.
All right, I'll go Ohio State by 15. I don't know how they're gonna get 15. I'm going 32-17 is the final score.
Now, give me Notre Dame. Give me them plus 6.5. I'll take that line.
They're plus 6.5.
That's just line out. I'd put
Ohio
alternate.
State to cover.
I was alternate spreading, but
Yeah, my bad.
all right, but me and Ryan are going to put a wager. So check out Tully Tailgate on Instagram. We're going to put a wager on this game. Just a little friendly back and forth. See what we come up with. But definitely check that out on Tully Tailgate on Instagram.
We're also gonna have a live stream of us playing Ohio State Notre Dame
Yes.
on Twitch. So feel free to watch that as well.
Yes, check that out. But yeah, that's all we got for this one.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Ryan,
I'm CJ.
and this is another episode of Tailgate with the Tullys. Go Buckeyes.
Go Irish.